evening and welcome to this year's celebration of excellence. It's great to see all of you here. It's great to hear the noise in the hallway during the reception. I'm Linda Erdis. I'm from the Department of School and Community Relations, and it's wonderful to see so many friends and colleagues here tonight from every APS school throughout the county. I really enjoy this event every year since it is our one time that all of us come together as a unified school community to celebrate and honor the many gifts of our amazing AP staff and staff members that bring to their roles every day as they serve children. This night gives all of us an opportunity to pause and celebrate some members of our team who have been instrumental in helping all of our students in our schools to achieve and excel. Every year we highlight one principal who is outstanding and represents his or her peers as an example of excellence. We also acknowledge the contributions of our support employees who make a difference in so many critical ways in our schools and in our operations. And finally, we will be paying tribute tonight to members of our amazing corps of teachers who represent every APS school in the county. But before we officially begin, I first want to say how much we appreciate the support we receive from our families, and in particular from the Arlington County Council of PTAs. Tonight, all of our honorees that you'll see on stage received a corsage or boutonniere that was provided by our parents, and I'd like to thank them for their support of us. So I hope everyone will sit back and relax and enjoy our parade of excellent and amazing staff. For those of you who are here to celebrate your school or one particular friend or colleague, I hope all of you will join in and show them how much you appreciate what they do by cheering or applauding or doing, I heard a cowbell earlier, letting them know how much you appreciate them. So let's begin. Please welcome Nancy Van Dorn, the chair of our Arlington School Board, to the stage to say a few words on behalf of our elected leaders. Nancy?
Good evening, everybody. It's a beautiful evening and a great evening to be here with you. Congratulations to everybody. It's wonderful. This is one of those wonderful evenings that we all like to be here and can take a moment to be grateful for everything that you do, for everything you do for each other, and for everything you do for our children. Thank you for being here. We've had a great school year, and we have many, many things of which to be proud. The most important elements of our success here in Arlington are the incredible talents and gifts that every single person in this room brings to us. We pledge to always find the best in the field of education, and that's you. It makes me smile. It brings me great joy when I speak to families in the community and they talk about your dedication, your passion that brings you here tonight and brings you to school every day with our students. All of the school board members would like to have been here tonight. We have one board member who had to go, Dr. Cannonen, who had to travel on family business, but Reed Goldstein is here this evening with us. James Lander is here this evening with us, and Tanya Talento. So we're all here to congratulate you. We're pleased to join tonight to celebrate with each and every one of this year's winners and to thank you all, every single one of you, for all you do for our families and the community every single day. I have 3 graduates from APS. They are your protege. They came from you and your great work. I have 2 twins who are just back from their first year in college, very successful. A third year at UVA who is going back to do an internship there, and a sophomore at Washington Lee who's off at the Virginia Junior Academy of Sciences. And that's because of you. That's my experience and the experience that is replicated many, many thousands of times over here in Arlington. I see some smiles from the people who had them. So thank you. Thank you personally, thank you on behalf of my colleagues who have had the same wonderful experience I have had, many of my fellow parents, and to all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We know you are passionate about helping our students achieve their goals and realize their dreams. So now I'm going to turn the program over to Dr. Murphy and ask him to guide us to our first recognition this evening. Thank you.
Well, good evening, and thank you, Ms. Van Dorn. It is a pleasure to be here. If you may recall, we used to do these individually at our school board meetings, and I think it was several years ago that Linda Ertis decided that we have one large culminating event, and I think this is really a reflection on our community and what we believe about public education and celebrating the people that do that work each and every day. So thank you for coming out. I know I had a chance to meet many families out in the auditorium or out in the lobby there, and so I hope this is a wonderful evening. I am a little jealous. I understand there's a group that's headed off to MGM at the end of tonight's event, so maybe if there's a little space in the car, I can jump in. Several years ago, under the ownership of Don Graham at the Washington Post, there was a celebration of principals and teachers. And Don ceremoniously used to do what I'm going to follow next. And it's really reminiscent of the wonderful things that the Washington Post did under his leadership and the leadership of his mother. And I want to recognize some of the people that are here this evening. So, if you are one of our honorees, either Support Employee, Principal of the Year, Teacher of the Year, would you please stand so we can honor you this evening? There are a number of you here this evening. Very nice, and thank you. Now, I know associated with these honorees, they may have brought family members or friends. And if you are a family member or a friend of one of our honorees this evening, would you please stand and thank you for coming out? Now, I know we have a number of principals here this evening, assistant principals, members of the executive leadership team, and central office leaders. If those individuals could just wave to us and let us know that you're here, that would be great. And then finally, we have a number of families here that are either friends or associated with our honorees, as well as students. And you are our customers. So if you folks would please stand, we'd like to honor you as well for coming out. So I have the honor of kind of kicking off the first recipient this evening, and that has to do with the Principal of the Year Award. Here in Arlington, we are fortunate to have 36 school principals who reflect the highest level of leadership here in our county. Well, a survey by the Wallace Foundation, who does research on principal and school leadership of administrators, found that principal leadership was among the most pressing matters on the list of public school education issues today. Teacher quality stood above everything else, obviously, but principal leadership came next, as organizational management has a major influence on the quality of education students receive in the classroom. So thank you for what you do each and every day. It plays a pivotal role in our total instructional program. This year, we are pleased to recognize and honor Miss Bridget Loft as the 2017 Arlington Public School Principal of the Year. Well, Bridget, your students are here this evening from the Swanson Chorus under the leadership of Miss Mary Hannah Klontz, and they're going to begin to make their way to the stage to pay a little bit of a tribute to you with some musical selections. So if I could turn to the Swanson Chorus. Here they come. All right.
Well, Mrs. Loft, you may remember that the 8th graders came and serenaded you with this very song called Stand By Me, and during Principal's Appreciation Week, because we feel like you do stand by us, and that if things start to look a little dark, you are our shining light. And I promised you the next time you heard it, it would be bilingual. So it's half English, half Spanish. Here is the 1960s hit, Stand By Me, with a little update from Prince Royce.
So at this time, I would like to ask School Board Liaison to Swanson Middle School, Mr. James Lander, and our Principal of the Year, Ms. Bridget Loft, to make their way to the stage so we can recognize and honor them. So while we place a high value here in Arlington Public School on principal leadership, Bridget Loft stood out as one of our best that we would like to recognize this year. Let me, though, share a few details about her career here in Arlington Public Schools and what makes her special. Bridget began her career here in Arlington Public Schools 22 years ago. Over the last 5, she has been leading the instructional program as principal of Swanson Middle School. She started her career at APS as a social studies teacher and then served as an assistant principal at both Swanson and Wakefield. Bridget portrays all the attributes of a global thinker. She's able to see day-to-day operations of the school, from the students' grades to bell schedules to maintenance issues to teacher observations, all in the context of improving learning for students all the time. Her students wrote, "Miss Loft always has been the best principal. Even though she's strict sometimes, that definitely shows she cares." A Swanson parent says that she's always impressed with Bridget's interactions with students, even if it meant that Bridget had to wear pajamas to school, be a cheerleader at a staff basketball game, or dance with students at the multicultural event. And finally, a staff member says she leads with a strong yet compassionate tone, and she's candid, a fearless leader with a clear vision for the school, as echoed in the Swanson statement. We are scholarship, service, and spirit. At this time, I would like to ask our school board members to please join us on stage so we can get a picture with our Principal of the Year, and then we'll hear from Ms. Loft.
So it's rare to have the spotlight, but I'd really like to turn the spotlight back on our Swanson Chorus and their director, Mary Hannah Klontz. You guys rock. I really especially appreciate the rendition of the Swanson Statement. Mary Hannah Klontz wrote that for us. And we say the Swanson Statement every day during the announcements to remind us what we're about: scholarship, service, and spirit. So it was just beautifully rendered, and I really appreciate it. So I want to say thank you to Dr. Murphy, to our executive leadership team, to our members of our school board, to my colleagues and my friends. This is truly an incredibly humbling recognition, and I am profoundly grateful. I'd like to share a few things I've learned I'm actually finishing my 6th year as a principal. So first I want to share that Cornel West once said, "If you don't love the people, you can't lead the people." And that's pretty simple, right? Except that it's not, because leadership can be messy. You've got to read the room and your people just right. If you misstep a little to the left or the right, you end up with a group of really unhappy, frustrated, and downright cranky people. You can also think you know the right direction in which to lead your organization, and yet when you say, "Follow me," sometimes there's no one behind you. But if you approach the job with love, and that's love for your staff, your students, and your community, you'll steer the ship in the direction it's supposed to go. As 1 Corinthians 13 in the Bible reminds us, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it always protects, always trusts, always perseveres, and always hopes. You can't go wrong with patience, trust, hope, and love. There's a line in a Christopher Guest mock documentary called Best in Show, in which the character is getting ready to drive his bloodhound from North Carolina to New York City to compete in the Mayflower Kennel Club dog show. As he gets into his camper, one of his friends says, "If you get tired, pull over. If you get hungry, eat something." Self-care is essential to being successful in this and any job. I'd add to that line, if you get confused, call a colleague. Many's the time I've found myself in a pickle and I've wondered, what would Lori or Keisha, Dave or Connie or Karen or Casey do? I am so truly grateful to have been able to work with and learn from my principal colleagues. Another line I'd add to that would be, when you need help, ask for it. My administrative team has been a blessing in this regard. Lunch duty? Check. Need to know a minute detail of a special education procedure? No problem. Relocatable flooding? Got it. Student in crisis? They're on it. I could absolutely not be able to do this job without their constant, steady professional support. Another line should be, when you need inspiration, go watch your teachers and staff in action. Swanson Middle School is blessed with a faculty and staff who know and love middle schoolers. And let me tell you, it takes a special person to embrace the minute-by-minute ups and downs of 10 to 14-year-olds. There are 150 plus admirals who do that every day. They are amazing creative professionals who are a joy to watch in action. Yet another line that I would add is, if you get stressed out, go hang out with your students. Middle schoolers are unique amongst Earth's creatures. They are resilient, creative, bright, and fun to hang around with. Do a tour of lunch duty one day and you'll witness drama, romance, suspense, action, all in about 5 minutes. I admire my students for their willingness to live this merry-go-round with grace and with good humor. And the final line should be, when you've had enough, whine to your family. I thank my mom and brother and my husband and my son, and yes, even my dog, for listening to the highs and lows that I have each day, and they do it with patience and love. They are my sanctuary and my saving grace. Last but not least, I'd be remiss if I didn't share my mantra, there are no problems, only opportunities. And I'll give you a minute to stop rolling your eyes as my staff does when I say that to them. But seriously, being able to reframe a seemingly insurmountable problem into an opportunity to learn and grow and to see from a different angle is invaluable. I've learned this from watching my colleagues at the Department of Instruction tackle the opportunity of interventions and enrichment. I've also learned that from watching my Department of Facilities colleagues embrace the opportunity of fitting 18 relocatable classrooms into the smallest school footprint in Arlington. I've also learned this from watching Swanson's PTA work to fund $8,000 of teacher requests with a $4,000 budget. So as these folks, as well as all of my colleagues in APS, are masters of turning the negative into the positive, and we are all the better for them. So while I thank you for this recognition, this is truly a Village Award because it really does take a village to raise our children. So please give yourselves a round of applause, and thank you very much.
Do you want to ask for your whole staff to stand? Everybody's going to stand. That's good. That's nice. There you go. Lori. Very good. All right, thank you. Well, thank you, Bridget, and congratulations again. And I do want to recognize Bridget's family who is here this evening. Her husband, I know, is very familiar with our life as he is a band teacher at one of our local high schools and band director, and her son also attends that school with Dad. So congratulations to both of you and the entire family. Thank you for being here. All right, we're going to, yes. So we're going to move to the next section of our program. We're going to recognize our Support Employee of the Year folks, and I'm going to turn it over at this point to Dr. Christy Murphy, our Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources.
Good evening. I have the outstanding pleasure of introducing and supporting our Support Staff Employees of the Year. This year, we had 54 employees who were nominated to receive awards as Support Employees of the Year. All these employees demonstrate commitment, excellence, and initiatives in their field of work to support students and the instructional program. Although I wish we could choose everyone for their dedication and hard work, we can only select 7 honorees representing each of our employee groups. Before we recognize this year's recipients, would all members of our staff who were nominated for Support Employees of the Year please stand, and I would ask everyone to give them the loudest shout and praise that you can possibly think. Thank you. So before we honor the 7 support professionals who were selected as our 2017 Support Employees of the Year, let's take a look at a video that highlights why their nominators chose them and the difference that these individuals make in their school every single day.
But occasionally we do have an outstanding, exceptional performance, and basically that's Stephen.
I know Thomas is looking out for my kids, and I'm never worried when they're in his care.
Edwin Hernandez is a complete APS success story.
I nominated Laverne mainly because she is the person who's really about support personnel in the classroom.
Ashland's Support Employee of the Year is Karen Key, and Karen Key is our cafeteria manager, and she's amazing.
She is what we call the glue that helps hold this building together.
Jane's colleagues think of her really as a Jane of all trades because she is able to do anything in the office that we need her to do.
And on any given day, Laverne, she's walking around, she's assisting kids, she's smiling, she's enjoying the kids. Her interaction with students is phenomenal. She's there for the kids, she's there for the staff. She's able to address concerns, but in a positive manner. That is not offending anyone, but she's also, when she's addressing things or concerns, it's about the students. It could be any kid she sees in the hallway, she's willing to help. She might not even know the kid, but that's just who she is as a human being. She's the type of person where you know that, hey, I need to get it done, and she's gonna get it done. She's just a great collaborator within the building, and she's a great resource for Drew.
Ashland's Support Employee of the Year is Karen Key. She has been in Arlington Schools for 33 years. She makes a difference. It's not a job to her. She cares about kids, and she'll notice when a student comes to the line and they either look like they've had a hard day or a tough morning, and she makes an effort to say something to them, to, be positive, to bring them up. And something else that was really special about Ms. Key is that she was one of the first cafeteria managers to do SOL breakfast. She came here several hours before her shift even started without telling any of us, and made sure that there were breakfasts ready for 200 kids when they got here in the morning. So I think that's amazing.
Eileen Winslow, assistant principal at McKinley Elementary School, said Thomas is always warm and friendly. He knows students by name and enjoys talking with them for a few minutes each day. Thomas communicates with families about transportation needs and makes sure that students arrive to school and home each day. He also goes above and beyond, helping transport a student to Reed or running to routes to cover for other buses.
Because of the need for the new students who keep coming our way, we can't build fast enough. And so we need to add a significant number of relocatables. Stephen's persistence is what gets us through that. He's at the county every other day, begging for inspections and help and clarifications. And typically what happens is on the Friday before Labour Day weekend, he will come into my office towards the end of the day with a great sigh of relief and show me occupation certificates for all the relocatables. So he's a big part of that success, and that means we have seats ready for the students on the first day of school.
Jane's colleagues all thought of her as the perfect person to represent us. Her primary responsibilities are working as our special education secretary, which everybody knows is a very complex and comprehensive role in and of itself. She works primarily with our staff, she knows all of our students, and she knows how to fix a jam in the copy machine. She's been at Tuckahoe for 21 years. She's the first person that I met when I first started at Tuckahoe 7 years ago, and she is a tremendous amount of fun to work with.
Edwin Hernandez is such a success story for APS. He graduated in 2006 from the Arlington Mill Continuing High School Education Program, but even before then he began working as a line custodian at Langston. He continued working with APS as he was going to Nova. He became building supervisor at Long Branch. He finally got his business management degree from George Mason last August. He has been such a great asset to Washington Lee since he joined us, and he is very deserving of this recognition.
Tina, she knows the community, she knows the students, she knows the staff. She's dedicated, she loves what she's doing for the building, for the students. She gets along well with everyone. She is one of the people who is involved in and out of the building with the community. So she helps bridge that community and school together with our families. You can ask her to do anything and she's there for you. She doesn't complain. She's a go-getter. She's just that person who you know that you can count on to do what's right for your students and for your building.
Edwin, on behalf of the Washington Lee community, we thank you.
Thank you, Tanita, and congratulations on your win.
Stephen, congratulations. It was my privilege to nominate you. I am delighted that you're getting this recognition. I think it is extremely well deserved.
Miss Key, thank you. You are most deserving of this award.
Thank you, Laverne, and congratulations on your win.
Jane, I would like to congratulate you on not only being Tuckahoe Support Staff Member of the Year, but earning recognition as the APS Support Staff of the Year. Congratulations, it is well deserved.
So now comes the fun part. Let's continue to recognize each one of these individuals. Our first representative is from what we call our A-scale employees, which are our assistants who serve in a variety of roles, such as kindergarten assistant, special education, ESOL HILT, and bilingual family resource liaison assistants. Please welcome to the stage this year's A-scale employee, Laverne Gant, the Montessori assistant at Drew Model School. Congratulations. Congratulations, Laverne, for being nominated for our A-Scale Support Employee of the Year. Next, we have our C-Scale honoree. Our C-Scale employees prepare and serve breakfast and lunch to APS students. Our food service professionals oversee ordering and preparation of meals while serving over 11,000 customers with a warm and welcoming smile every single day. Please welcome Karen Key, food service manager at Ashland Elementary School, to the stage. Congratulations, Karen, as our C-Scale Employee of the Year. Next, we have our D-Scale staff that ensure our students are safely transported throughout Arlington County, but not just to and from home and school, but also on field trips, interscholastic competitions, and a huge range of events while ensuring that our students are safe and comfortable. Please welcome to the stage this year's D-Scale Support Employee of the Year, bus driver Mr. Thomas Robinson. Congratulations, Thomas, for your award. Our next honoree represents our E-Scale employees. E-Scale staff fulfill a variety of important roles throughout the school division. They make sure our technology is being utilized in the most efficient and effective way. They assist parents and visitors to our schools and departments and oversee our financial and operating systems. This year, we'd like to congratulate and welcome to the stage this year's E-Scale Support Employee of the Year, Stephen Bernheisel, our Assistant Director of Maintenance. Congratulations, Steve. Our next group that we celebrate on this evening are our G-Scale employees who provide administrative support in schools and central office. They often are the first to greet visitors, families, and students when they arrive, and they help in such a critical role to ensure a smooth operation of any school or department. So this evening, please help me welcome to the stage G-Scale Support Employee of the Year, Jane McGill, Educational Administrative Coordinator at Tuckahoe Elementary School. Congratulations, Jane. Our M-Scale employees ensure that our buildings and classrooms are clean and welcoming for our students, our staff, and families. They provide maintenance support across the school system, making building enhancements, rewire spaces for technology, and ensure that during the winter, school sidewalks and areas are clear of snow and debris. This year, we honor and we welcome to the stage M-Scale Support Employee of the Year, Edwin Hernandez, Custodial Supervisor at Washington Lee High School. And last but certainly not least, our X-Scale Employee of the Year. Our X-Scales, they supervise our extended day programs in all of our elementary schools and our check-in at the middle school, starting and ending our students' day with enriching, staff, and structured activities. I please welcome to the stage Ms. Tanita Mangum, Extended Day Assistant Supervisor at Drew Model School. Now I would like to invite all of our school board members to join us on stage for a photo with tonight's support employee honorees.
Okay, Mom.
Thank you once again to our Support Employees of the Year. We couldn't do it without you. Now I would like to ask that all of our teacher honorees would move to the right side of the stage, and Dr. Tara Natras, our Assistant Superintendent of Instruction, will continue our next group of recognitions.
Good evening. I am pleased to honor all of our Teacher of the Year nominees. Teachers are the bedrock of what we do and are critical to student success. Regardless of the grade level or subject, Arlington Public Schools has an amazing core of instructional professionals who help our students succeed in countless ways every day. Let's look at a brief video that shows just some of the excellent people who care for our children in the classroom.
Does anyone know what we're going to celebrate next week?
Teacher
Yes,
Day?
sir.
Teacher Day.
Yeah, Teacher Appreciation. Very good.
They're nice and they are helpful and they let you ask questions if you're confused with something. We learn a lot of cool stuff. I feel like a little connection.
I enjoy being with the kids. Every day is it's exciting and different.
What are the rewards that you get from it?
Oh, just the smiles from the kids. Like, that just totally makes it worth it.
Yeah.
You know, doing a project where, you know, they just light up because they love what we're doing. They like just getting messy.
Yeah.
It's nice to just kind of be a safe space for kids to do whatever they want to do.
To teach every day such a diverse group of children and obviously work with a very diverse group of teachers. So every day I'm still a learner, and I appreciate that after all these years, I have this next crop of kids who are teaching me more than I could ever know.
She's nice and she does everything. That she helps everyone equally. When you, what my teacher calls it, cobwebs in your brain, she'll just let you review it and you won't get in trouble that you don't know it, and you'll learn it and then you're ready.
We are visiting classrooms across Arlington Public Schools today and throughout the week and seeing different teachers that are inspiring and create genius. And so we heard about, guess who?
Hey, thank you. I'm going home now, that's it. All right.
I feel like Mr. Anderson is like the movie Inside Out. He has all these emotions, but like he's mostly excited all the time, and that's what makes class better.
And during the morning when you're like really tired, he's like our coffee basically.
I know that the teachers aren't supposed to put their opinions on us, and so Mr. Anderson does it so well, and so it's really nice to like be able to learn about it freely and form your own opinions and be able to like have a good time while doing it.
You know, it's a cliche to be like, I learn more from my students than they learn from me, but it's totally true. So I love learning from students. I love the constant challenge of teaching. Working with young folks is the best. They're funny. They're all geniuses. They have so many skills. They have so much growth. I mean, it's wonderful. It keeps me young, and it's just the best. It's the best job ever.
Well, I love teaching in Arlington because I used to be a student in Arlington, and I think that's a great place. I think that's a good community.
There's people from all walks of life with all different kinds of experience, and they have so much to offer. Us, the school districts, the communities are so diverse. They're filled with so many amazing families, amazing children.
She keeps everybody safe. She makes us really happy for learning. And she takes care of us just like our families.
One thing that's great about teachers is that they encourage you to do your best in the classes, and they encourage creativity and let you do like what your mind wants sometimes if it fits the curriculum.
They give us projects that are creative and they make us work together
and like think about different parts of what we have to do.
That goes out their way to help other students get good grades.
I like when teachers are passionate and they can try to understand what their students go through and like take care of their needs as well.
Someone who can understand their students on a different level.
They're really chill and they're fun to be around, and they make us enjoy the class a lot more.
That's why we're talking with you, so that you might share with us some of the things that you really like about your teacher.
She's always like making sure everybody's here and making sure nobody does the right thing. She's nice to everybody sometimes. Our teacher makes sure that we follow rules, and she makes sure we're safe. And she's nice.
The kids. I dearly love kids. I want to have more kids, and people are like, you're crazy, but I love the kids. I love to see the smiles on their faces. I love to see the growth that they make.
Thank you for creating those learning experiences for our students. I think you can see the magic that our teachers create every day. As we honor our teachers, we often find ourselves ending with Wakefield, Washington Lee, Williamsburg, and Yorktown. So tonight, we are going to mix things up and recognize all of our teachers according to the teacher's last name. Time won't allow us to tell you all the wonderful things about these amazing educators, but we have some time to listen to a few brief comments from each Teacher of the Year nominee. We will hear our nominees discuss their proudest moments as teachers, their greatest lessons from students, or a little about their passion for teaching. Others talk about how they build relationships, some unique moments in their classrooms, and even share some advice to new, current, and future teachers. Once each Teacher of the Year receives their certificate, we're going to ask them to take a seat and remain on stage until we have everyone gathered. So, let's begin. Our first Teacher of the Year is from Barrett Elementary School. Kathleen Aiken teaches art to Barrett's students.
I want my students to be creative problem solvers. I hope that they're thoughtful and patient and persistent when solving problems. I hope they know that their first answer to a question may not be their best answer. And I think by knowing these things, it'll make them stronger students and stronger members of society as adults.
Next, from Long Branch Elementary School, we have Carolyn Ayub. Carolyn is an ESOL Hilt teacher at Long Branch.
Authentic language learning is the basis of my philosophy for ELLs. I'm fortunate to work with a collaborative team at Long Branch. We have 3 wonderful programs that incorporate authentic language learning. One is Reach for Reading Family Literacy Program. Another one is our Weekly Voices news team. And our last program is our Shutterfly Family Stories program. Through those experiences, students transcend past the classroom.
From Campbell Elementary School, we have Jessica Berg. Jessica is a 2nd and 3rd grade teacher.
Every September, my students come up with their hopes and dreams for the coming year, and I get a lot of, I want to learn how to write in cursive, and I want to learn how to do hard math, and those are skills that they definitely leave me understanding. But the thing I really hope that they learn from me is the value of curiosity and of critical thinking. If they can notice problems in the world around them and come up with ideas for solutions, that will get them really far in life.
Barcroft Elementary School's Teacher of the Year is Twana Betts. Twana teaches 2nd grade at Barcroft.
I believe my mom and dad ignited my passion for teaching. Both of them instilled in me being a hard worker, being a leader. When obstacles come your way, you push forward. My mom, as an African-American woman growing up during the time of Thurgood Marshall's, being in separate schools, that voice still rings back to me as I'm a devoted teacher. I'm an African-American woman. I want to express that to my children, that they also, even though they come from different backgrounds, you have the opportunity to be as successful or even more successful than I am. And that's something that I am thankful for. I am blessed for the support system that I had.
Congratulations. From Tuckahoe Elementary School, we have James Brent. James teaches first grade at Tuckahoe.
We work as a team together, myself, students, and families, and I think it's important they see me as a team member and just as always a positive person within the students' lives and the families' lives. When a student has an issue or is maybe just having a bad day and I need to talk to them, it's good. I think it's important they see that I'm coming from a place of, I'm here to nurture them and help them with what they need, and same with the families as well. When I need to contact them, they know I have their child's best interest at heart. And I think, as we work together, we're all, have each other's back throughout the year.
The Stratford program's Teacher of the Year is Caitlin Davies. Caitlin is an autism special education teacher.
I believe that education can be one of the best equalizers in our society, and I came into teaching because I really wanted to be part of the fight for equality and to give back to my community. I keep coming back because I get to spend the day with some really, really cool kids. I get to work with an amazing team, and together we get to, on a really good day, we get to see miracles happen. We get to see a kid connect and a kid learn a skill that they've been struggling with for years, and it really is these miracles and those children that keep me coming back.
Congratulations. Next up is Washington Lee's High School Teacher of the Year, Frank DeRocco. Frank is a guidance counselor at Washington Lee.
Well, it's kind of difficult for me to put into words exactly how they inspire me. In fact, I'm inspired every single day by them. The resiliency the students have, the intestinal fortitude some of them have, how easy life comes to some of them and how difficult life comes to some of them. I've shared those experiences with my students. I've had a lot of successes with my students, which I enjoy. We've also had a lot of disappointments with my students, and I empathize with that. I believe that the experiences I've had with all of my students has guided me to be a better counselor, a better father, a better husband, a better brother, and a better son. And through my work as a counselor, I hope that I can give them back what they gave to me.
Oak Ridge Elementary School's Teacher of the Year is Samantha Doland.
Teamwork is the foundation of instruction. At Oak Ridge, we are a team. We are constantly collaborating to find innovative ways to meet the instructional needs of every student. ESOL work together as a team to connect with every student, staff member, and family. We advocate for our students because we believe that every student can learn. To eliminate the achievement gap, we have to think outside of the box or get rid of the box. And it takes teamwork to do that. There's no I in team. So, go team and go Oak Ridge.
This year's honoree from Drew Elementary School is Phyllis Edwards. Phyllis teaches art for Drew's students.
Well, my passion was ignited long ago when I was little, because I come from a long line of people who value education secularly and also spiritually. And so bringing that into my teaching, that desire, I love seeing how my students' eyes just open up and they grasp what they're learning. And I've taught long enough to be able to see my students grow up, go through college, and come back and help teach with me. This is one thing that I wanted to bring because I had just been out on medical leave, and when I got back, here was this guitar with a lovely note saying, "Dear Miss Edwards, thank you so much for teaching me art. I made this for you in my STEM class." So it just warms my heart. This is the reason why I teach.
From Abingdon Elementary School, we have Jackie Furster. Jackie is a K-5 resource teacher for the gifted.
In a world where we're bombarded every day by information from all directions, I think one of the most important things that I can teach my students is the ability to think critically about the information that they're presented with. I don't want a classroom full of sponges where they passively absorb the information I spill out to them. I want them to really understand what they're hearing. I want them to question it and think critically about it. One of the things that I really think that we should be able to do is start teaching them as soon as they walk in the door. It's not something that we can wait until the college level to begin teaching them. This is one of the reasons why I really love teaching, is the ability to be able to get kids thinking and thinking critically about the world around them.
Taylor Elementary School's Teacher of the Year honoree is Dr. Sharon Gaston. Sharon teaches reading.
Well, one of my proudest moments was the first year educator in Florida, and I was a third grade teacher, and I had a student named Demario who was very challenging, and I'm sure everybody could talk about a student like that, but it was hard. I was teaching long division, and he just wouldn't listen. He'd always play. He'd do his little comedy routines or get mad, so I was trying to find a way to reach him. So I was like, at the end of the day, I'll let him tell his little jokes and so forth. So anyway, one day I was coming into work, and I saw Demario sitting with a group of his little friends and his brother, and they were all huddled around, and I went to see what they were doing. And he was over there teaching them long division. And I said, Demario, who taught you how to do that? And he said, you did, Miss Gaston. I went, Demario, who taught you how to do that? And he said, I did. And that's when I was like, that's a proud moment there. And I let Demario help in the classroom with teaching. He was very bright. But so that was a proud moment I have to, because I still think about him to this day.
Glebe Elementary School's Teacher of the Year honoree is Stevie Ray Gray Jr. And as you can see, Stevie is not with us this evening as he is celebrating the birth of his baby boy as of last night. So. Stevie teaches physical education at Glebe, and we are going to honor him as well as the new addition to his family.
If I had any advice for future teachers, it would be to find a way to hone in on patience, especially before you get into elementary school, because it's really easy to lose patience when you have 5- and 6-year-olds talking at you. You have to kind of bring them back in and bring them back around, and remember to wait and breathe, because learning takes some time, and so does teaching young kids.
From Jamestown Elementary School, the Teacher of the Year honoree is Danny Green. Danny is a pre-K special education teacher.
So I spend most of my time teaching my students outside in the woods behind our school. And my overall goal for them is to build on the connection that we've already established with them and the earth and the world around them. And I felt that it's easy to access the whole child being outside because we're constantly discovering new things. So building on their curiosity, joy, and wonder for the world around them.
Nottingham Elementary School's Teacher of the Year honoree is Nicole Gustafson. Nicole is Nottingham's librarian.
I've worked at a variety of different schools with very different populations, but one thing is always the same, and that is the importance of developing a strong relationship with each student in the class. Students need to feel valued and respected. They need to know that their teacher genuinely cares about them and has their best interests at heart, that they're part of a community. This strong connection helps to foster engagement in the classroom, and it is the foundation for success of the whole child. But it's also the reason that, for me, teaching is such a rewarding profession.
From Henry Elementary School, Keenan Hall is the school's Teacher of the Year, and Keenan teaches music at Henry.
First of all, I'd like them to leave with an appreciation for music and its role that it can play in their lives. But beyond that, I want them to understand that we are all on the same team, that every voice is valued and respected, and they each have a valuable contribution to make. And the magic happens when we work together.
Williamsburg Middle School's Teacher of the Year teaches 7th and 8th grade math. Please welcome to the stage Susan Hodkin.
Well, from day one, students need to trust me, and they need to know that my room is a safe and comfortable place. I encourage them to make mistakes, and I'm there to support them. I know if they feel comfortable, they'll work harder, they'll learn more, they'll feel free to take risks, and it becomes much more interesting. I know too, if the families trust me, we can work together so that their kids can get everything they need to be successful.
From Ashlawn Elementary School, Susan Katsanis is their Teacher of the Year. Susan is a 5th grade special education teacher.
Building student relationships means the world. As a special education teacher, students come to me having faced challenges throughout their school career, and often the resulting impact on their heart, be it with their confidence or their motivation. And as I work with them, I get to be the mirror so that when they look at me, they see high expectations and confidence. Then they take my confidence as their own and they own it. So when we get to the learning, that starts their cycle of success that propels further learning, but it all starts with relationships.
We saw our next honoree earlier in our program. Swanson Middle School's Teacher of the Year is Mary Hannah Klontz, who is the Swanson Choral Director.
Well, my proudest moment in the classroom is when a student actually gets it, and there's that, oh, and you know, okay, I finally made it with this one particular student. But I'm going to say overall in my career, the thing that makes me the proudest is when students come back and say, this made a difference in my life. This changed me. It was what kept me coming to school every day so I could sing. Or now I play piano in my church because of what we did in your class. And so it's a lifelong skill, and I feel really proud to know that I had a big part in helping them to achieve that.
From Randolph Elementary School, this year's Teacher of the Year is Erin Kowalovics. Erin teaches first grade at Randolph.
It's vital to form strong relationships with our students and their families. It's our responsibility as educators to get to know our students as individuals, their academic strengths and needs, their interests, and their backgrounds. The more we know about our students, the more we can use that information to build positive learning environments and experiences that meet their needs. These strong relationships directly and positively impact our students' achievement both in and out of the classroom.
Discovery Elementary School's Teacher of the Year is Elizabeth Kuleski. Elizabeth teaches second grade.
My proudest moment came more recently when one of my former students wrote me a letter and told me that the year she was in my class, which happened to be her third grade year, was a challenging year for her because she was worried about the demands of third grade. And she said that I taught her how to value people's opinions and listen to other people and to be open-minded. And she said that we had classroom community because we all formed a bond over pets that year. And that made me so proud because I often think of proud moments as when a child learns to read or spells a word correctly, but she valued the classroom community, which is what I strive for each year, and that just melted my heart.
This year's Teacher of the Year honoree from Arlington Science Focus is Kelly Curtis. Kelly is the math coach for students in grades through 5.
I feel so fortunate as a math coach that I get to regularly collaborate with incredible teachers of all grade levels. I see the many benefits of collaboration in team meetings, one-on-one planning sessions, and in classrooms. And when I'm co-teaching, I learn instructional strategies or behavior management strategies that I can take to other classrooms. But one of my favorite parts of my job is collaborative planning. I'm still often amazed at how together we create a drastically better lesson than I could have imagined on my own. So I'm certain that working together creates enhanced instruction for our students.
Key Elementary School's Teacher of the Year is Rebecca Lair. Rebecca teaches students in all grades at Key.
The greatest lesson I would like my students to leave my classroom knowing is that art doesn't just exist in the art classroom. And I would like them to be the kind of people that seek out art experiences outside of school. When they go forward, when they're teenagers and adults, I would like them to go see art in an art museum or know that they can make their own Halloween costumes or appreciate art when they see the design on their cereal box and little things like that.
Gunston Middle School's Teacher of the Year is Monica Lozano. Monica is Gunston's Minority Achievement Coordinator.
My classroom is very special because it's not just a classroom. It's an open space for the students to feel safe, celebrated, and feel that they can come and see themselves in every part of my room. There are pictures, there are colors, there are fun stuff to do, questions, imagination, creativity is there. They always love to be there. They love to talk there and having conversations to learn more and be better.
From Carlin Springs Elementary School, the Teacher of the Year is Mary Claire Mahler. Mary Claire teaches reading.
I would say that one of the most important aspects of instruction is collaboration with your peers. I think, especially as a coach, I'm someone that interacts with peers very often. I think it's a humbling experience in a good way, to think about what is it that someone else can bring to the table that maybe you might not think of. Just as every student is very different and we need to reach them in different ways, it's important to think about how to do that and how to put forth instruction in a variety of ways through multi-modalities that maybe your peer has thought of and you maybe have not.
The Teacher of the Year for Claremont Elementary School is Amanda Moore. Amanda teaches music.
Teaching general music in an elementary classroom lends itself to a unique classroom environment. Just getting to see my students year after year helps me develop a relationship with them and a bond that allows for a deep sense of trust, which allows them to have a willingness and openness to learn, not just as me as an educator, but also my content area, music. I work really hard to teach community values in my classroom, the ideas of respect as well as teamwork. I try to help my students learn how to harness their anxious energy into a viable product that we can share with the world and be proud of, as well as removing the fear of failure from the creative process.
From Arlington Community High School, Jamie O'Donnell is this year's Teacher of the Year. Jamie is an ESOL HILT teacher.
Well, I could just go on all day about my students. We're a very special school in that we teach students who are over 18. Almost 100% of our students are immigrants, and most of them have outside jobs full-time, as well as families that they're supporting and in their home countries and here in the United States. And despite all they have going on and tremendous pressures in today's environment, they really inspire me in their dedication and coming to class every day and working as hard as possible. And I figure if they're going to work this hard to achieve and to get an education, then it's the least I can do to bring my A game every day.
Kenmore Middle School's Teacher of the Year is their librarian, Holly Owsley.
My proudest moments as librarian happen every day when students come back into the library and say, "Miss Owsley, what's next? What do I read next?" Or they tell me, "Miss Owsley, this book was so great," or "I'm so excited I got to meet that author." So I think my proudest moments as librarian are being involved in students being inspired and motivated to read.
From Hoffman Boston Elementary School, Molly Patrician is this year's Teacher of the Year. Molly teaches music.
My advice for future teachers would be to get involved in your school community. Some of my favorite experiences at Hoffman Boston have been at our Multicultural Night and All School Show and Winter Festival, where I've been able to connect and talk to students and parents. And it also gives me an extra opportunity to get to know my coworkers. And over the past 5 years, I've made a lot of great relationships because of that.
Jefferson Middle School's Teacher of the Year is Rachel Payne. Rachel teaches 7th grade social studies.
My proudest moments come when I see the students take those skills and those big ideas that we learn in history class and actually apply them to real life, whether it's, after we do a Socratic seminar where there's opposing beliefs and just kind of seeing them approach situations a little bit different, or their vocab changing over the course of the year. It really makes me think that I'm helping the kids become more knowledgeable and they're using that out in the real world, and that's the most rewarding thing because it really makes me feel like I'm making a difference.
From the H.B. Woodlawn Secondary Program, William Podolsky Jr. is this year's Teacher of the Year. Bill is a chorus teacher.
I remember being an elementary school student, and it was a pretty lonely time for me. I remember being at recess at one point and the band director coming to me and offering me an instrument to play, and that became my saving grace while I was in school. And throughout middle school and high school, I continued to play and sing, and that gave me my sense of belonging and my sense of being. So when it came time to choose a vocation, teaching music certainly became the thing that I wanted to do, to pay that gift forward, to give it to students, to give them an opportunity to feel the great experience that music can be and the saving grace that it can be as well.
Yorktown High School's Teacher of the Year is Kara Saavedra. Kara teaches math to students in grades 9 through 12.
I hope my students leave my classroom knowing that I was there to support them, and from that support they realize that they are capable of doing any level of math or any class that they choose. I hope that they realize that their hard work paid off and that they have a new self-confidence for what they're capable of doing.
From the Arlington Career Center, this year's Teacher of the Year is Career Center Counselor Lisa Stiles.
2 years ago, we had a student named Oscar who graduated. And the thing that I remember the most about Oscar is that he had so many doubts about graduating. Almost every week he would come in for about 2 years and say, I don't think I'm gonna graduate. I don't think I can do it. Ms. Stiles, I can't do it. And so I would always say, I can see you walking across the stage. I envision you walking. I said, share this vision with me. And I would say that to him probably twice a week almost. And not only did he graduate, but he was elected as one of the speakers for the graduation that was held here at the Career Center. And that was one of the most proudest moments that I can think of.
Arlington Traditional Elementary School's Teacher of the Year is Christine Swain. Christine teaches 2nd grade.
I hope when my students leave my classroom, they know it's okay to be themselves, have confidence in who they are. I hope that they're able to have confidence to stand up and speak up for someone who might not have the confidence to do it themselves. And I hope eventually when they enter a room, they have the loudest voice, not so much in volume, but that people listen to them and respect what they have to say.
Finally, the McKinley Elementary School Teacher of the Year is Natani Vaughn. Natani teaches 4th grade.
So when I first found out I was McKinley's Teacher of the Year, I actually felt kind of guilty because almost everything that happens in my classroom is the result of a collaboration of teachers. And then I realized that is what makes a teacher great, being able to recognize that the sum of all of our work together as a team is always going to be better than what I could have done alone. And I think that sort of reliance on collaboration that I have in my life is really evident in my classroom among my students too. There's really not a day that goes by that they are not working together to solve a problem or create something. And I think that's my job as a teacher, to really nurture that ability to work with others in each of them.
Congratulations once again to all of our Teachers of the Year. Thank you for all you do for our students and helping them in their instructional journey here in Arlington. Now I'd like to invite Dr. Murphy back up to the stage for our Teacher of the Year presentation.
Our AETV Cracker Jack staff and the folks in school and community relations have a little bit of some vignettes that are outtakes that we'd like to share with you.
All right, guys. You don't have to say your first name and last name. Oh, thank God, because I didn't practice that.
I can talk.
But that was the dry run, right?
No, they would say.
First time on TV.
And then he said my name again. It was like, woo! I am teacher. Hear me roar. Okay, so just go straight to the story with all the sidebars.
Make sure
I try. Okay. All right. Look, pressure now. I thought I could just talk and you all would cut and edit.
That was perfect.
All
you
right.
gotta go friends of Mario.
Oh, whoa, with 2 seconds to spare. Okay.
Oh, okay. In a world where we're bombarded with information every day, I think one of the most important, take 12. Okay. In a world where we're
Take 15.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, go.
And I look, blah, 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 blah. Listen to the game. Yes! Yes!
How long was it?
I don't know, it was long enough.
When to the, sorry.
I don't know. How did you feel about that? It was too like. What was it? Tell me. Okay, that's yeah. Let's get some swagger. I'm a math teacher. Can I just say the quadratic formula?
What was the best day of your life? I'm going to suspect they know what it is, but what was the best day of your life? You point to the best day of your life.
What were you gonna say? My kids?
Either your kids or your wedding day.
Nope. Do you know what I told my when I got LASIK? I'm kidding.
Wow.
Yes.
You are awesome for putting up with this.
That was a rambling.
Oh, that was the first. I don't think you were rambling at all.
No? Okay. Okay. In my mind, it's like, hurry, get done.
That's good?
Yes.
Woo! Woo!
Exactly 30 seconds. Are you happy with it? Are you?
We're done?
We're done.
Repeat the whole story?
If you like to.
I won't remember in a second. Oh, I said a lot, huh?
1 minute. Yeah, you got 30 seconds.
I feel pretty good.
I feel like that's more than 30 seconds. I'm like rambling.
Why did you stop?
Because I felt like I was going long.
Was I moving? Yeah.
I heard something. No, it was.
Hey, if we're gonna throw it in, you want to edit it in? I got. This is how I.
It's how I roll. Are y'all rolling?
This is actually how I roll. This is a roll with it.
No, I sure don't.
You said one and done.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Cool. I'm out of here.
You guys just like hearing me talk. Okay, one more time. You got a lot of stuff to work with there, so have fun.
And that just melted my heart.
Oh, that melted my heart too. One and done.
Okay,
You did
perfect.
it.
No, can we cut that? I don't want to say that.
In them to their own self-confidence. There's a third cue card.
Well, because I was blanking out, and I mean, I wrote this stuff.
No makeup here?
Dang, where's the glam squad?
The glam squad.
Because I'm feeling a little dripping.
I move around.
I give you permission to edit whatever you need.
You guys must be so tired of this after.
Well, thank you all for having such a good spirit. I have some wonderful script here about perseverance, and if you don't succeed the first time, you try again. But as I reflected on this and watched, this is the joy of working with kids and the attitude that we all bring each and every day. So thank you for that. I think that's exciting. It makes you real. And you know what? I would love to be in each one of your classrooms because I see the value in that. So thank you for that. So now we move to our final honoree of the evening, and I was wondering if I could ask Dr. Chris Wilmore to escort our 2017 Teacher of the Year, Michelle Cottrell-Williams, to the stage. Michelle has worked here in APS for the last 10 years. She's a social studies teacher here in Arlington at Wakefield High School. And as soon as she joins us here on the stage with Dr. Wilmore, we have a short video clip that we'd like to have share with you, that Michelle shares some of her beliefs as well as some of her students.
Teaching is getting to share what I love with other people, getting to spend my days with students that are learning what it means to be an adult, to help them learn, to help them believe that there's at least one person in the world that cares where they are tomorrow.
You're gonna summarize it here at the bottom on the timeline in 10 words or less.
To me, I think one of the most effective ways to be a teacher is to have empathy for the students, and I know that that's what we all strive to do. I think empathy for me is more than just being there to tell the students they did a good job or to give them a hug. To me, empathy is not necessarily knowing what everyone is coming to the table with, what everyone's backstory is, but it's recognizing that everyone has something going on and giving the students the benefit of the doubt when they come to you so that they feel safe and they feel supported no matter what else is going on outside of the classroom doors.
She's very patient with the students and she knows how to teach. She helped me in the class, but also in other classes.
It's a welcoming person, like she accepts everybody, doesn't matter where the people come from or how those they look like. She's, I don't know how to explain, I don't have words to say how amazing she is. So I just have to say she's the best. She's a great teacher and she absolutely deserves this award and I'm really happy for her.
I just think that she actually deserves being the Teacher of the Year because she's really helpful and I'm sure other students think the same thing too because she's always willing to help us.
Was the war over yet in February 1945?
Certainly the students that I have made me the teacher that I am now. Without them, I couldn't do what I do. And they wouldn't be who they are without the elementary teachers that taught them how to be kind to each other, without the middle school teachers that taught them how to open their lockers, without their other teachers here at the high school level that continue to push them and support them and help them become better people. So it's not just me with my classroom door closed trying to save the world. It's the combination of the entire village of Arlington County that turns these tiny little kindergartners into amazing young adults going out into the world. And I am very lucky to get to be just a small part of that.
So Michelle, congratulations. This is a great honor, and we're glad that you're here with us this evening. So I'd like to give you this in honor of being Arlington Public Schools Teacher of the Year, along with this certificate. And I was wondering if I could invite board members to come up and we can get a picture with Michelle and Dr. Wilmore. So we're going to hear from Michelle, give her an opportunity to share some of her thoughts with us. And again, congratulations.
Hi, good evening. First, I want to thank all of you for coming out, for your support, especially my parents, my husband, oh gosh, already, and my daughter, Ellie. Hi. It is quite overwhelming to be up here surrounded by so many amazing educators. I have to admit, I feel rather inadequate, but I'm so honored to be here among you. Thank you for what you do for our children every day. I couldn't be who I am without the phenomenal students that I get to work with, and they couldn't be who they are without the incredible foundation that you give them to grow upon. So, as the mother of 2 young children, the other one was too young and could not handle being across the room from me, I often find myself getting sucked into the storylines of some of their favorite shows. One afternoon, my daughter Ellie and I were watching one of these shows just in time. Do you know this one? Justin travels with his friends, Squidgy and Olive, back through time. The adventures that they go on help them figure out how to solve problems that Justin is facing back home. In this episode, Justin had traveled to the prehistoric era. He and Olive were trying to play hide and seek with Olive's pet dino, Rexy. As you can imagine, Rexy was not very good at hide and seek. Every time he tried to hide, part of his body was visible, and the kids easily found him. When they tried to play tag, they couldn't keep up with Rexy. During mini golf, his ball flew way too far. As the kids struggled to find a game that they could all enjoy, Justin realizes that the problem isn't with Rexy, it's with the rules of the games. We need to change the game so he can play. That, to me, was a light bulb. I truly believe that education is not a one-size-fits-all arena. Every year brings a different group of students, and they come with varying needs. Over the years, I have developed a true passion for culturally responsive teaching. I believe it is so important to give all students a safe environment in which to learn without negating their own backgrounds, cultures, and identities. In my practice, I strive to be a teacher who embraces the differences of each student who walks through my door. Our current educational system is set up as a series of benchmarks in the form of grades and standardized tests that were developed to measure student learning and success. I visualize it as a child's shape-sorting toy. But instead of many differently shaped holes, all the holes are round, a reflection of society's expectation that all students meet some predetermined standard of what success is supposed to look like. But our students are not all the same. As a result, many educators feel the frustration that comes with trying to force a star-shaped student into a round hole. I see them struggle to get stars to change their shapes to fit into a space that was designed for a circle. And still, they wonder why an achievement gap exists. Instead of asking why it is only the circles that are able to fit through the circle-shaped holes, I work with intention every day to change the shape of the environment, to change the rules of the game. If my classroom is filled with students shaped like stars, hearts, and triangles, then I need to build star, heart, and triangle-shaped holes. Instead of expecting all of them to adapt and assimilate to the type of schooling that happened to work for me, I need to change my practice to meet them where they are. But when the system has worked so hard or so well to convince a child that he or she is a failure, what can be done to help that student trust again? That child needs to know, to learn, that to fail is human, but it does not define a person's value. In my classroom, I model vulnerability by letting students see my mistakes, my humanity, and showing them that even when we don't have it all together, we're still good enough. Each year, I teach about humiliation and shame while giving them the space to explore their own triggers. I teach my students how to celebrate their strengths and how to show empathy in times of need. We practice vulnerability and discover together the power that comes from hearing the words, "Yeah, me too." One of my favorite activities to do with the students every September is write just because poems, in which we address and then shatter stereotypes that are often associated with our own identities. Through these practices, I can create a safe, empathetic space for my students to make mistakes, learn from each other's differences, and courageously embrace their vulnerabilities in ways that make them more confident, mature, and strong. In our interactions, I give my students the benefit of the doubt, show them that they deserve respect, and support them unconditionally. In doing so, I teach them how to be responsible for their own learning and give them the confidence to strive to be better in all parts of their lives. Certainly for me, the most rewarding aspect I find in teaching is getting to bear witness to the growth and development of the students who walk through my door each day, watching them blossom from unsure adolescents into brave young adults. Ultimately, I'm standing here tonight not because of some special skill or magical talent that I possess, but because I trust my students enough to give them the space they need to become their best selves. So in closing, I'd like to leave you with this. Just because I'm the teacher of the year doesn't mean I have all the answers, doesn't mean I never make mistakes, doesn't mean I finished my journey. I am still learning. Thank you.
That was great. That was excellent. Thank you.